Alright, this is Mr. Sasser and I'm here today to do Hunter x Hunter chapter 351 review deathmatch. And I have to do a very quick chapter review because even though it's Friday, I still have a lot of work to do, so it is what it is. Real life comes first. So it's going to be a quick review, and I'm very lucky with the chapter this week because the chapter this week is mainly a confrontation between Hisoka and Chrolo, Lucifer. So being a fighting chapter, it's mainly fight. I mean, we do get to learn a lot more about Chrolo's abilities, but for now the chapter is very simple, so I don't think this review will take that long, even though the chapter itself has been a wow chapter, an incredible chapter. So for the beginning, Hisoka and Chrolo decide to have a deathmatch because they have been chasing each other for a very long time, and Chrolo has become tired of this chase. Hisoka has become tired of this chase, so they decide to have a deathmatch, and last man standing is the winner. Now, what's most intriguing is that Chrolo has his Nen abilities back. When we left Chrolo, he was sealed by Kurapika. So somehow, some way, he has been able to take that seal that Kurapika did off. So we don't get to see how he did it this chapter, but I have a feeling that we are going to see that in the next chapters. So he has his Nen ability back. Not only that, but he had to change his Nen abilities because according to him, when he stole abilities that require both hands to use, he couldn't use them. He could steal them, but he couldn't use them because he had to keep his book in his right hand all the time when he wanted to use an ability from the book. So keeping his right hand occupied, even though he had abilities in his book that needed both hands, he couldn't use them. So he had to devise a way to be able to use abilities from the book when he's not keeping the book in his hand. And he created a bookmark. Now, that bookmark could be left at a certain page where an ability is, and then he would put his book in his pocket and he will still have that ability. Now, this bookmark is a creation of his Nen power, a creation of an extension of his book, and Chrolo already had a set of limitation when he was using his book. Like, if you remember when he fight Zeno Zoldyck, Zeno realized that in order for Chrolo to steal an ability and use it, he had to accomplish 4 or 5 tasks before he could do it. So those were limitations because if he was not able to accomplish those tasks, he couldn't use the power, and that affected his fighting. Now, this bookmark adds even further limitations to that, even more conditions to that, but he's able to use both of his hands. Now, the bookmark itself had not an extension, a side effect that Chrolo did not know about. He wasn't intending, he didn't intend to use the bookmark like this, but after creating the bookmark so he can use abilities that would require both hands, and he could use the bookmark and the book in his pocket, he realized that he could use 2 abilities at the same time with the bookmark. If he has 2 abilities that do not require his hands, then he could place the bookmark at one ability, then open the book at another ability, and then he would have both abilities at the same time. And for a Nen user, that is huge because he's a specialist and he could have 2 Nen abilities from different categories. So the implications are limitless. And Hisoka says, well, you say double ability, but in fact it's triple ability because you use the book first, so that's a Nen ability. Then you use another ability from your bookmark, then you use another ability from your book. So it's kind of free, and what he's implying is that in order to actually use free Nen abilities, it requires a lot of Nen and a lot of concentration. But apparently Chrolo has that Nen and that concentration. And they're fighting. I'm not going to go into the fighting because it's just the beginning. Like, at the beginning, Chrolo uses mind control technique to control the referee, and he uses the referee to distract Hisoka so he could actually mind control Hisoka, but that doesn't work out, and then he kills the referee and uses a technique that requires both of his hands. he does the sun and moon technique. And the sun and moon are like plus and minus. And when plus and minus they are put together, they explode. Like if they simply touch, the explosion is little. It's enough to kill a man, but it's small. But if he keeps his hands together for 4 or 5 seconds, the explosion is huge. And now they are just getting into the fight. So this chapter was just the beginning of the fight. They weren't even serious in this chapter. So we're going to see what happens in the next chapter. But I kind of hate one of them to die, because if Lucifer dies, then I don't know why he did all this. He gave this characterization to Lucifer and his new powers if he's just going to kill him. And if Hisoka dies, well, that would be so sad, because Hisoka is a cornerstone in Hunter x Hunter. So what will happen here, I'm guessing that either they will be interrupted by someone in the middle of the fight, or Chrolo will kill Hisoka, but Hisoka is not actually going to be dead, because Hisoka has a lot of tricks in his bag, and I'm pretty sure that he can fake his death if he comes to that, because Hisoka might have been seeking Chrolo to fight with him, but he's not suicidal. If he thinks he's going to lose, he's going to try to get out of that. So that's the chapter. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.